Hi, this time I wanted to talk about the false authority of the dungeon master, game master, referee. I think that due to ignorance or even bad intentions, this has been spread around, this sort of lie or fallacy. Before we begin, I want to point out that I am still getting adjusted, even after a few weeks. I am still getting adjusted to this laptop that I use to record videos on StreamYard, because you have the camera lens over here and the screen. I'm not sure if I should be looking up or down. I'm going to look at the screen. Okay, the dungeon master, game master, referee doesn't have any sort of authority over the players themselves. The dungeon master, game master, etc., has authority over the rules and the world, the setting. That's it. I think this is the fault of the mother may I conversation that is employed by people that do not know how to roleplay or that do not wish to roleplay. Remember that a lot of these people, they play tabletop role playing games because they don't have anything else to do. They have failed in sports, in other games, their life is a complete mess. So they basically get into tabletop role playing games because of the way it has been portrayed that there is no right way to play a tabletop role playing game. They can be terrible at it. So that's a sort of like an escape for them. But they don't role play. They don't role play in a tabletop role playing game. Such a contradiction. So that's the reason why they are not interested. They were never interested in playing a tabletop role playing game at all. They are just wasting their time. They are just spending their time, burning their time, doing something in which they have no business whatsoever. And so this mother may I conversation happens. If you are just starting to play tabletop role playing games, or you don't know what roleplay is, because there are people that spend years and they don't know what roleplay is all about, please check out my beginner's guide in the description. So, the typical situation. Can my character use the levitation spell to get across the gap? And the game master, yes, you can, or yes, you may, or no, you cannot. That gives the game master a false authority over the player. The player should be describing the character's actions. I use my levitate or levitation spell to get across the pit, the chasm, whatever. And then something will happen. So these game masters, because they are incompetent, they take advantage of those weak-willed individuals that do not state, they do not describe their character's actions. They are constantly like little kids, little children. They know, like, I am going to ask a question, so the game master tells me it's okay to do it. They take advantage of those people, and a false sense of authority is established because the dungeon master, game master, referee is only there to run the game. As a game master, you have authority over the rules, over the world. That is, you are using your own a particular system or your homebrewed system or a system, an existing system with tweaks or modifications. You added some rules or you removed some rules. That's it. And when it comes to the world, you are presenting the agendas, the plots, the stories concerning that particular game world. You present that world to the players. The players take their actions, and according to the system, something happens during task resolution or skill resolution, or maybe it's an automatic success or an automatic failure. Maybe you need to roll the dice. That's it. But the dungeon master has no authority whatsoever. The dungeon master, game master has no authority whatsoever concerning the players. They are not the bosses, the chiefs, the leaders of the players. When it comes to rules and the game world, they could be considered guides or leaders, but as long within the rules, within the world, that's it. They're not going to tell you if something is not allowed within the fiction. You carry out your actions. You don't need to ask permission. Can my character do this? Can my character do that? Can I attempt this? Can I? And the game master is not constantly ordering you or telling you where when it's okay to speak. Like, what do you do? What do you intend to do? What are your plans? What are you going to be doing? So as you can see, this false sense of authority of the dungeon master, game master, it's created by non-role players, people that do not role play and get into tabletop role playing games because they have nothing better to do. Because that's not actually playing a tabletop role playing game. They are doing something else. They are having a Mother May I conversation. They are playing a distorted version of a board game. So that way you can see that it is a complete lie. Take a look at my actual plays. You will find the links to the actual plays in the description of this video. I am never ordering anyone around. I present the world, and be it Crispy, Josh, Ryan, Tyler, they describe their actions, something happens. As simple as that. You are effectively just there to serve as the referee. You are making sure that the rules, according perhaps to an established session 0 contract, you make sure that the rules proceed accordingly and that there is coherency, consistency within the game world. That's it. That's it. Everything else is handled through roleplay, and you play the game with that roleplay. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing a tabletop role-playing game. You need to play a role and play a game. It's an activity that roleplay and the game aspect, they come together, they work together. They form this symbiosis, this fusion, perhaps you could say. Apart from that, you have no authority over the players as a game master, dungeon master, etc. I think this is also important when it comes to you as a, maybe you are an always game master and you decide to play in someone else's game. You need to accept that you have no control whatsoever over the entire situation. You're describing your character's actions, that's it. And the game master is not going to use you as some sort of die roller. You're not there for the game master to take you along for a theme park ride and having you make all of the checks, obligatory, mandatory checks, because you're being taken through all of the encounters of the module that the dungeon master designed or purchased. It is not telling a story. It is playing a tabletop role-playing game. Completely, absolutely different. You are not having a conversation. You are playing a tabletop role-playing game. Only the most brain dead will be unable to accept or see this. So yes, thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.